episode of Beyond the Black Rims. I'm Mars Girl.
I'm Josh Knight the First.
This is Season 9, Episode 15.
Or Episode 205 if you're counting.
Thank you guys so much for being here with us this evening. Josh, good to be with you, as always.
Yes.
And this is totally the first time we're doing this opening.
It's not like the cat knocked out the plug before.
When does she ever do that?
That doesn't happen.
It does not happen. Things are good here. I hope things are good with you guys as well. Appreciate you coming out, enjoying another Friday evening with us. We've had an exciting week for a multitude of reasons.
And again, we can't tell you guys.
Some of which we can't tell you about.
Golly.
One day, we will be able to tell you about two things.
Two things. And we can't be more specific because you sign things.
Yeah.
And then you can't talk about them. You just can't.
Nope.
So we gotta play the game, and we like playing the game.
Yeah, we like playing the game.
So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going on. You were just playing Kingdom Hearts. I have not.
No, you haven't been.
So,
I got myself up to Pirates of the Caribbean at this point, and Kingdom Hearts at the pace I'm taking it at, it just feels like it's doing a really good job of just recreating Disney movies and just totally taking control away from you as the player so that you can watch.
Padding?
Yes.
Okay.
So that you can just watch Frozen.
Wanted to hear it. I just wanted to hear it out your mouth.
Just watch
that
Frozen
this is
or
padding.
Oh, it's absolutely padding. You're just watching Frozen or you're just watching Pirates of the Caribbean 3. That's all you're doing.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp.
Yeah, and he doesn't sound like Johnny Depp. He doesn't sound very good, if you ask me, in personal opinion.
Yeah.
In personal opinion, it needed to not be that guy.
Okay.
So.
That's fine. I can live with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So earlier this week, we did get to do other things, which we'll talk about. The things we saw, but we did get to go to a nice Super Bowl party.
We did, yes.
It's the first time we've gone to one in ever? Together?
Yeah, I definitely don't recall doing one.
No, if I'm not mistaken, I think we went to one other one that my family threw years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And my family just loves football. You know, they're that, feel it, smell it, football type family. Even if their team isn't playing, they'll watch the Super Bowl anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no investment in the game. The thing that I liked is there were a few football people there at the event we were at. And for the most part, everybody was just in agreement that they didn't want the Patriots to win, even though they did. Agreeably, it was the most boring thing I've ever seen.
I mean, aside from it being sports, and this isn't the place where we typically would talk about sports.
No, I'm saying this is why I'm glad next week we can get into a sport that I like, which is Overwatch League.
Is it starting back up again next week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
If it can be helped, we're going to do that next week, because I can understand those stats.
Right.
I understand those players, and it's just the juxtaposition of people getting angry over things over here. I could get angry at this game because it was slow as hell,
right,
and nothing happened.
No, there's only one touchdown the entire game, and it didn't happen until the fourth quarter, and I know this is not the place where we talk about sports, but sports are already boring, and that was a boring thing to happen in the name of sports.
Yes.
So
that was the most boring thing to happen in the name of sports. So this is why I'm happy for next week, because if it can be helped, they're having matches. I think they still got tickets. Mm-hmm. So we can go next week. That'd be a good thing. Some people, for Valentine's Day, they want to go on a romantic date. They want to go to the movies. No, esports. That's romance.
Oh, okay. Is it?
I mean, it could be. Okay. I probably should have talked to you about this beforehand.
You probably should have, yeah.
We'll probably talk about this after the show.
Okay.
Should have thought that one through. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. Everything else is great.
Yeah. Nobody's dead right now. That's the good news.
That's the important part. Nobody's dead. The important part
is nobody is dead right now. We would like to keep it that way.
Let's see. Lego Movie 2 opens this weekend. Like we said, we
did see Lego Movie 2.
And we did get to see it last week. So we'll talk to you guys for just a second on that. Don't want to spoil some things. It's more of a musical this time.
Mm-hmm.
But the songs are funny.
They're fun. It's a fun movie. I don't know that it was better than the first one, but I thought it was fun. It was easy. It was very fun. There's nothing to complain about.
I will say this much, and I'll leave it at that. There is a celebrity cameo that nobody will see coming and then it keeps happening, and it's really funny.
It's very funny.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Right.
But I enjoyed it. It was funny. Tiffany Haddish was a great addition to the cast. Batman's great. He's always great in these movies. It was fun.
Very fun. So, you know, that's just one of the many movies that we've seen recently, including Alita Battle Angel, which we talked about.
That'll be coming out next week.
That's coming out next week.
And we can't impress enough. It's good.
It's good. It's good. I think
This is
Anime
the
News
one.
Network also was saying that it was good.
And then the official Alita account retweeted them talking about how good it was.
They've, I don't know if they've already done it yet, but they asked me for permission to retweet my own words about Alita, so they're very proud of it.
We found out while we were there in the theater waiting for Lego Movie to start that some of the promotion that they're using for Passport to Iron City, you can see us in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you're looking at their accounts on like Instagram or their advertisements on Facebook and stuff, we are very clear. You can see us very clearly in those shots.
You're more clear than I am because you're taller. There's one shot where you can see me just real quick during the when we're betting on Motorball.
Well, you can also see us when like we're walking into the area and they're filming us from the back.
Yeah, but you can't tell it's me from the back. I just look like a piece of cloth moving forward.
I mean, you are the person standing next to me, so you can tell it's you when you know who you're looking for.
It's arguable. Like I know it's me, and I'm saying I'm not sure it's me.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I think we've covered all that we can talk about
yeah,
what
so
we've
let's
been
go ahead and talk about the things we're going to talk about tonight.
Yes. What's our first story for tonight?
So first and foremost, like we were talking about just a second ago, the Super Bowl. If you're not watching for the football, and that's your choice if you do, we're watching for the ads, and there were a couple of good ones that we want to go over, some action things, mostly nerdy stuff that we want to cover. We're not talking about beer or anything like that. We're talking about the nerdy stuff, so we'll focus on those ads.
Right. And then secondly is Ryusoulger's a thing.
Yes.
That has finally released a trailer for this is the newest Super Sentai season. Did they do the press conference?
Yes,
they
same
did
day.
the press conference the same day as this trailer. So lots of Ryusoulger information has come out today. Love to talk to you guys about it.
And then the third topic, of course, we did talk about the Super Bowl, but this belongs in a class all its own. That beautiful 30 seconds of Avengers Endgame, and a lot more information that we got along with that. So we'll shift a lot of our follow-up information to that section so we can just focus on Endgame and give it its due time.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Until then, though, we do want to first talk about different follow-ups to different stories that we've already talked about, or other topics that are very similar that we only briefly want to touch on. Josh, give me something.
Okay, so here we go. So, of course, starting with our DC news. So, like we've been talking about, this is the last season of Gotham, and we're getting a lot more information about what people are really looking forward to, which is the last episode, because they have already promised us that we are going to get Batman, proper Batman. They've said specifically, we are not going to pull a Smallville on you guys. You are going to see Batman, and he figures into the episode heavily. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, that means in Smallville, when we got that last episode, the last, like, 10 seconds is Clark ripping his shirt open, you see the S, and then the show's over.
Right.
Never see him in the suit fully. But what we're having here is that we're going to have a 6-foot-tall actor in a suit that was built to make him look impressive, but they're doing something of a composite here, because people have been asking, you know, David Mazouz, who plays Bruce Wayne there, well, is he going to be Batman? Because this is a time jump from what we've been told. And they said yes and no. So basically what it's going to be is, from the wide shots, from the action shots, it's going to be this stunt actor, but when they do the close-ups, it's going to be him under the cowl, and it's his voice that they're going to modify. So I guess they're going for the voice modification like we got in Batman vs. Superman, but he does get to be Batman, sort of.
Sort of, okay.
So there's that. Okay, so moving on to some movie news here. We got two little bits here, interesting things. So the first thing we'll go ahead and bring up is filming from Birds of Prey, which is going on right now. So we have this picture here of Black Canary and Harley Quinn there on the set. Of course, now we're looking at a more happy Harley Quinn, I guess?
This, if you ask me, doesn't even remotely look like somebody I would have called Harley Quinn.
Well, I mean, she's still got the pink and the blue in her hair.
Good for her, but that's not red and black.
I get that. I get
all.
that. You know, they're still trying to blend things and fix things from the last movie.
It's not red and black, and she's just covered in color, and this is not someone I would have called Harley Quinn.
Now, a lot of people are saying that Black Canary over here is, one, very attractive, but two, she's not quite wearing the costume that people were expecting. You know, the leather jacket and the thigh highs. Like, that's not the Black Canary we know. And up to this point, we've never really gotten that.
Sure.
But we imagine this is going to be a progressive thing. There'll be more accurate costumes as filming continues. From everything we've seen so far, it's exterior shots outside in Gotham. It's not dark at all, so I imagine once things get dark, then we'll probably see more of those accurate costumes.
Right.
All right, so we've got those. And then to go ahead and move on to some other things, this picture got passed around just within the last 2 days or so, which is for the Justice League movie that we never got to see. Now, this was George Miller's Justice League Mortal, and what we have here is our first ever look at what the cast looked like in costume for that movie. Now, for those of you who don't remember on that one, this movie was just about to get made, and within less than a month, they pulled the plug on it. Warner Brothers decided not to move forward with it.
Yeah.
So we see some of the cast there. Let me go ahead and pull up here the information on who's who, because a lot of this is prevalent to what's going on right now, because specifically for Batman, that's Armie Hammer, who was cast in the role of Batman. He's considered by many to be the front runner to replace Ben Affleck here in The Batman coming up this year.
Okay.
That's also DJ Catrona as Superman, Adam Brody as The Flash, Megan Gale as Wonder Woman, and Hugh Keys Byrne as Martian Manhunter. Now, Santiago Cabrera and Common were cast as Aquaman, and Common was cast as Green Lantern, respectively, but that's not them in the picture. They were not available at the time. This is just a costume test for those two. Otherwise, that's everybody else in the suit.
That's really interesting. Man, that would have been really fascinating to see actually exist.
It's something to really think about and chew on, because when you look at the script, which is available online, you can just search Justice League Mortal script, and you can read the whole script. It was going to be kind of simple, but it wasn't going to be bad necessarily. It would have been really popcorn.
I think maybe, well, it depends on what the special effects looked like, of course, how good the acting ended up being, mind you. But simple might not, you're right, it might not necessarily be bad.
Exactly. The thing about it was they were going to have two Flashes in the movie. You know, there was going to be Wally and Bart there, and otherwise, the script was okay. Looking at these costumes, they're pretty comic accurate for the most part.
They are,
We see that they were kind of going for the skirt thing already with Wonder Woman there and the muted colors. Batman already looks like he's wearing some kind of armor. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a high-res pic of this available. It's just this one, and they have confirmed that this is, in fact, the cast. So this isn't cosplay. This is from that production.
That is a good question. Which Lantern would that have been?
Specifically, it was going to be Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart. Oh, okay, great.
Because it was Common, so yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to some other news here. A bit of sad news here over in Marvel news. So this has been passed around for the last couple of days. Unfortunately, for the Guardians of the Galaxy there, they had this raccoon that they had on set by the name of Oreo, who was the inspiration for the way Rocket Raccoon looked and moved there for the movie. Unfortunately, Oreo has passed away.
Oh, that's sad.
Due to an illness. Everybody's really sad about it. He was I'm not big on rodents. That was the cutest raccoon I've ever seen.
I mean, they're just mammals. They're, really, people keep raccoons as pets so long as, you've raised them from a really young point in time. They love people. They can bond with people very easily. They're just mammals. They can be very sweet. Just be careful about them in the wild, of course.
Yeah, of course. So we've got that. In other Guardians of the Galaxy news, there's been an interview with Chris Pratt, of course, who's doing press right now for the Lego Movie 2, who has said that Marvel is still looking to move forward with Guardians of the Galaxy. The next movie, it's not an if, it's a when, and that most likely they will be using James Gunn's script. He may not be directing, but they will use his script.
That's very interesting.
All right, so we got that there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, over on Legion, over on FX, so they're going to be ending the show here with this third season, which is unfortunate because the show's actually really well made, visually and story-wise. It's very engaging. One of the interesting things that we're going to see here is that our main character, David, his father in the comic books, is actually getting introduced in the series, who's going to be played by actor Harry Lloyd, who we've seen from an episode, or 2 episodes specifically, of Doctor Who and Game of Thrones. He's going to be playing Professor X.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, we don't know if he's playing young Professor X or they're going to age him up a little bit. It does sound like they're not going to shave him. He's going to be wearing a bald cap, but he is going to be shown there in the show.
I think that's something really cool to look forward to. I'm kind of interested in seeing a different take on Professor X.
Yes.
That would be... I'll be looking forward to it. When did you say that was supposed to be?
That's filming right now.
Filming right now. Great.
All right, so let's move over to some Ghostbusters news. So we've been keeping up with this new one from Jason Reitman. You took a guess when we were covering the story before. You were right. Ernie Hudson has confirmed they have talked to him about appearing in the movie.
He will do anything Ghostbusters related, which, why shouldn't he?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. That is fantastic. Looking forward to seeing him again.
Yes. All right, so let's move over to some game news now. So, of course, going back to the thing you're playing right now, you can hold it up for the audience there. Kingdom Hearts 3, the title track, Face My Fears, with Skrillex and Utada Hikaru, has entered into the Billboard Top 100.
Oh, no kidding.
At 98.
Well, I mean, that's still something.
That's
Video
still
game
something.
music in the top 100. That's a thing.
Yes, and they have confirmed they're over at Square Enix that they have moved out 5 million copies of this game.
Of course they did. People have been waiting for this half their lives.
People had saved up many years of birthday money to get this. All right, and some other video game news, but with action figure news, Figma has released their first photo of the Mercy figure from Overwatch. Where'd you put it? There she is, and she looks beautiful. Of course, they've already announced the Pharah figure, so you can have your Pharmacy combo. For those of you who play like that, I hate all of you, and this is why we needed the Reaper buff. Speaking as a Reaper main, this will be retailing later on. It should be going up for pre-sale, if it hasn't already, for about $70 to $80, which is on par with all of the other Overwatch figures. So far, that's about half the original lineup that we're getting now in Figma form. I just want them to pump out the rest of it.
How about Zarya? Zarya would be
You know what?
very
I'm
nice.
with you on that. Zarya needs to be the next one.
For real.
Or Soldier.
Do it,
But
Blizzard.
definitely, yeah.
And
do
Figma.
It. And Figma. Get on it. Okay, so moving on to some other interesting bit of gaming news. So we've been talking, of course, about the Witcher project over on Netflix. They're getting ready to start this series up with Henry Cavill in the role of Geralt. Now, some people have been commenting on how he's getting in shape for the role, and we have this picture to show you of Henry Cavill. This is from this week, not despite who he's standing next to. That's not training for Superman. That's him training right now for The Witcher, and people are saying he's
very beefy. I
big.
don't... And mind you, Geralt, of course, is fit.
Yes,
right?
he's in shape.
Yeah, he's in shape. But this seems like a bit much, and this isn't the only picture we've seen of him.
Yeah, there's another one of him from the front, just kind of standing Superman
and
style.
That looks really scary, but I feel like here you can see just how huge his arms are here, and I just wonder if that's not a bit much, because I felt like Geralt got all of his muscle from performing...
Like on-the-job training.
All of his activity that he does, not just like weightlifting and push-ups and anything else associated with it.
Like Rudolphus is saying there in the chat, you would figure he'd want to be more lithe, more lean, to go ahead and be more agile against other opponents that he would battle in the games. But maybe he can still do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, we've got this whole idea that Batman in and of himself can do triple flips, and he's built like a mountain, so who knows?
I mean, I don't think Batman should be built like a mountain, but I think he should be fit. I don't think he should be built like a mountain.
Well, that's what we're dealing with.
All right.
Okay, so moving on to some other video game movie news. We've got Monster Hunter coming up, and we do have an official release date for that. That's going to be coming out September 4th, 2020.
Next year. Okay.
Next year.
It's still a long ways to go, all things considered.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's like
Over-
almost 2 years. Like a year and a half, not more than a year and a half.
Now, they are still filming, or... No, didn't we say that they finished filming, or was that a different one?
I don't even
see,
recall.
I'm the one in charge of these, and I can't remember. Point being, I imagine they do have to be in post for a while, because they've got to get these monsters looking right. And, you know, you get the shading right, you get us to believe it. Part of the whole thing that they've put on themselves is the whole suspension of disbelief that, oh, we're humans, we're normal people, here's a portal, we go through the portal, it's the monster world!
Yeah, we've complained about this at great length
this
before in the past.
So... we've got a while to wait before we get to see that. Okay, moving on to some other news here. over with Heisei Generation's final over this most recent Kamen Rider team-up movie has moved past the 1.5 billion yen mark.
That's pretty cool.
That's really good for them, especially considering the last couple of years, the movies only do so well, but this one, because it's generational, because it's got pull from the last 20 years, people are coming in, bringing their kids, and it's showing in the box office receipts. So I can't wait to see it once we actually get to it, and as we've seen with recent episodes of Geo, it is a canon movie. It does affect the plot of the show. Can't wait to see it once we get the chance.
It is very cool that it's going to be affecting the television show in some way, because we did see in recent episodes of Geo that
he's using the double ride watch.
That movies are influencing the TV show.
Yes.
So. And
then the last bit of information that we'll go ahead and share with you guys is in regard to Hasbro and the Power Rangers line. So what we've got here to show you guys is a picture just came out today. It was an exclusive with ScreenRant.com. Our first look at the toy line for Power Rangers Beast Morphers. And if you guys can see here, I'm very happy to see they look like how they look in the show. They're not beefy.
Yeah, we've had this traditional running gag and it's not even a gag because it's real.
Because it's true.
Because it's true. We have all seen Power Rangers toys our whole lives, the entire existence of Power Rangers.
That are built like football players.
And then it translates back over into Super Sentai where
Akiba
Ranger makes fun of, like, look how beefy
powerful
Rangers are.
Because that's how we made the figures.
We did that. We did it to ourselves.
We did it to ourselves.
Frankly.
Thankfully, Hasbro releasing this line is showing, no, they look like this, let's build the toy like that.
Yeah,
also
they look like they look on TV.
Now, what I've got here is a copy of the Morpher, the Ghostbusters Morpher, which they're adapting here. You can see on this kid's wrist. Now, it's not going to be exactly the same because Hasbro's decided to add a more toyetic quality to it. There are going to be little keys that they're going to be releasing.
And they're going to go
right here where the button activates to have the glasses pop up. That's actually going to be a new feature here, exclusive to the American release. Each key will unleash a different sound in the Morpher. You'll have to collect all of them to get that to work. And this is the toyetic thing that Bandai of America seemingly couldn't figure out. Because apparently that was the thing that they didn't want to do with Ghostbusters. It wasn't toyetic enough for them. But now Hasbro's coming in, hold my beer, I'm going to make this work.
Because otherwise it's an identical toy.
Yeah, otherwise it looks like 99% accurate. Just a little bit of changes there, you wouldn't hardly know the difference.
No.
So I think it's great. I think this is really positive. We've been hoping for more out of Hasbro since they got a hold of the license. They've also shown pictures of the Megazord and the Ultrazord already. So they seem to have their stuff in a row. We're just waiting for that trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give us the trailer.
They've been filming for a long time, it feels like.
They have, and they just went back to start filming either season 2 or part 2. I still need confirmation on that. They are back in New Zealand, though.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have more to give you guys on that, on Beast Morphers. I'm definitely going to be picking up some of this line. Because it looks like
so excited.
A quality toy.
I'm so excited about, Hasbro picking up and just taking off with it.
Yes.
So getting in on their first generation is going to be a fun ride.
Oh, yeah. But that's all we've got for our follow-ups. Let's go ahead and start with our first story, which is the Superb Owls ads.
Just in general, where's our, a general picture of Super Bowl?
Right there?
I guess it was...
It's that, alright.
Yay! So we're going to be talking later about the Endgame trailer all on its own, which is... it's only 30 seconds long, but
we had a lot of stuff along with that coming up this week about Endgame. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the things we got to see. One of the things we got to see on its own was Captain Marvel, as you guys see there. So we're showing a little bit more information here being given to us about the plot. Her really using these powers, these cosmic powers, because they're trying to get across to the audience now this idea that, no, we mean what we say. She's the strongest Avenger.
Yes.
And they're showing this now where there's more effect shots as we're getting closer to the release of her using all this power. Like, the first time we were seeing real power blast. Not magic. It's like cosmic power.
Right.
And along with that, over at Hot Topic and Box Lunch, they're starting to release all of the gear now. So you can get all these nice... stylistic embroidered shirts for Captain Marvel. They're really going to start pumping these out now. Because the thing about it is, part of the thing that we're looking at for the Super Bowl is it's not just what we see, it's what we don't see.
That's true.
Because we got to see Captain Marvel. We're going to be talking about the Avengers. Surprisingly enough, no Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm necessarily surprised by that because Captain Marvel's what's coming first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Spider-Man's coming after the Avengers, right?
Yes, it's going to be Captain Marvel, then Avengers, then Spider-Man.
Everybody complained that we know that Spider-Man lives,
right?
You know? So, again, it's not really a complaint. We knew the movie was coming, and we knew the order of release. So, obviously, Captain Marvel is the one they want to push right now because she's about to come out.
Yes.
It's almost ready. It's almost time, all things considered. John, thank you for the host.
Now, along with that, there was a lot of good horror, because as nerds, we do gravitate towards horror a little more because supernatural things, that's kind of in our wheelhouse. And it looks like it's going to be another really good year for Jordan Peele. We got two things there. One of them, of course, being another trailer for Us, which is that new horror movie that he's coming out with that family being terrorized by copies of themselves. Mm-hmm. That one looks really good. I imagine it's going to do just as good as Get Out did,
right.
Since we got that coming up real soon. And then along with that, because, funny enough, that movie is inspired by a particular episode of The Twilight Zone. And we got...
God, that was exciting, too.
Yeah, because we didn't know it was coming. And you remember, we were sitting there in front of the TV. There's like 20 people there at the Super Bowl party. We realize it's an ad for The Twilight Zone. And everybody's like, shut up, shut up!
Yeah.
And then silence, and they were really playing with the theme that it took you a really long time before you started hearing the...
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah! And of course, they've got a lot of people coming in for this, a lot of big stars who are going to be showing up in the Twilight Zone.
Which is exactly what Twilight Zone used to be. You just get cameo short appearances to do these short stories.
Now, up till now, we've covered Star Trek Discovery. Twilight Zone, along with Star Trek Discovery, is only going to be able on that CBS All Access app. This might make me want to get it.
I understand. I understand, but the CBS All Access app, it's pretty infuriating that it exists because our attention is split between all these different apps. We've got Verve, we've got Crunchyroll, we've got
Hulu, we've got Netflix.
CBS, Disney's working on theirs still. Kind of too many at this point. It's still really frustrating that that's what CBS wanted to do.
Well, be prepared to see piracy go up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if people aren't already pirating Discovery, and they are, it's going to be happening a lot more so, because for people who might not be into that much nerdy stuff, people know the Twilight Zone.
Sure, of
like
course.
My grandma, that was a fun thing that we got to do is, every July 4th weekend or week, whenever it would occur, Sci-Fi Network would always run that marathon of Twilight Zone, and I would sit there with my grandma and watch Twilight Zone. And
I was
my
there
grandma,
with her at one point, yeah.
And my grandma wasn't a nerdy grandma; she was just my grandma. But she liked Twilight Zone, and she knew them so well. Like after a couple seconds, she's like, "Oh, that's the one with the aliens in the ad. I know that one."
my dad too. He would order. Off, it was the TV or the Columbia record kind of.
Do you get the video cassette?
He did the video cassette mail-in order, and he would get like a new cassette every week or month or something like that. And every time we got a new cassette, he made an entire event out of the thing. First of all, though, he would record a spare copy of it. And then he would... Smart. And he would not play the original copy of the video at all.
I get that.
We had to watch his bootleg copy because he was terrified of destroying his Twilight Zone
as a collectors will do that. I get that.
I understand. So he made this whole big event out of it, and we had to sit down with the tapes and watch them the night that we got them in the mail. And so, yeah... through that, I saw basically all of the original Twilight Zone. Then, let's not forget that there was Twilight Zone that came out, it was the 90s?
Yes.
And what station did that come out on?
I think it was just in syndication.
Or something. No. I'm talking about, they had a new Twilight Zone.
Oh, no, you're right, because I'm getting mixed up with the reboot of Outer Limits.
They did that too, yeah.
But yeah, there's all those coming out. And then the other thing that Jordan Peele shows up in is actually the little teaser we got for Toy Story 4.
That's true.
Now, we've got a little bit more information on that. Apparently, Bo Peep is going to be showing back up. Famously in the last movie, she got sold off at some point.
Yeah, she didn't even show up. She was just gone.
And you just that little bit of hurt in Woody's voice and like, and Bo...
Mm-hmm.
And he takes a second and then he continues on with his speech, and it's like, oh, something hurt you.
Yeah.
Well, she's showing up here, and apparently she's not the same Bow that she was before. Like, it's the same figure, but times have changed.
Well, somebody messed around with her, I'm sure, and decided she gets played with in a different way. Yeah.
That sounds so dirty.
Well, she's a toy.
Yeah. But the thing...
How come you say when we're saying it's a female character that I'm talking about, and you're like, oh, that sounds dirty, but it's like,
there's been any number of dirty jokes made about Buzz and Woody. I mean, come on, the names alone. But
sure.
We do see Key and Peele there as two carnival toy prizes who are picking on Buzz there in the trailer. Apparently, the carnival is going to be the major setting for this movie. Like in the last one, we had the daycare. This one is going to be the carnival. Not sure much more other than that, because they're still keeping a really tight lid on everything that we're going to find out about this movie. And we'll go ahead and juxtapose that with talking about another thing that we didn't get to see, that everybody was hoping maybe we'd get something, was for Episode 9. We still have nothing on Episode 9.
They are really keeping that tight-lipped, and people have been saying they're going to drop the name of the 9th movie any day now, and it just has not happened yet.
No, at this point, people are taking bets on when it's going to drop. The biggest month for that is going to be April. And, getting closer to Celebration, of course. We're probably going to get something in Celebration. But beyond that, it's like, well, if you guys wanted to bring everybody up into a frenzy, that was the time to do it.
Right.
Because, everybody looks for the Super Bowl ads, for what's going to be the event movie, things like that.
Well, right now, it feels like Captain Marvel and Avengers are going to be the ones, and we'll talk about Avengers again in a bit.
Another thing that we got is actually our first look at the Guillermo del Toro produced Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, that looked
we got 3 separate ones.
And it's just so interesting how creepy this is. When I remember, it was for kids, this book. I remember being a kid and talking to other kids about this book. What a creepy looking trailer.
Well, yeah, all of them, because the thing about it is, it's Guillermo's style. Like, his imprint is on it. He's not directing, but he was involved.
Right, of course.
The thing about it is, these creatures, they look like the art in the book, because the art in the book is creepy, especially for kids. Like, I remember in elementary school, that book was always getting rented out.
Yeah.
Because kids wanted to read the scary stuff. You don't want to read about the Indian in the cupboard all the time.
Well,
you don't want to read
because that
Secret
one was,
Garden.
Those were forced on us to read.
Yeah,
in class,
when they force it on you, it's like, I don't want to read this. Like, you know how many times I had to read The Giver? I only enjoyed it the first 2 times.
Oh, I only had to read it once. I'm sorry.
I had to read it
Why
multiple
did you have to read it multiple times?
It was like required
Why?
reading for multiple teachers in different grades. I don't know what was up with that.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sorry.
stupid. Like, I had to read it like 4 times.
Yeah, The Giver and Hatchet.
Hatchet was These are deep literary cuts in elementary school that we're doing right here.
With a hatchet?
Oh my god. All your complaints at Mars Girl, force them there, because I don't want
I've got enough of those.
Like, yeah, like you don't have enough of those already. So we got those going. Of course, they showed more for Alita Battle Angel. We can't talk enough about it because it was really good.
Yeah, so we can't really talk about the commercial because I feel like we're leaning more into discussion about Alita Battle Angel. Definitely see it. It's faithful to the anime and the manga. Go see it. There's just nothing else for us to say about it. They showed us the commercial for Hobbs and Shaw, which of course we talked about
last
the
week.
Trailer last time, but I think some people at our Super Bowl party maybe hadn't seen that trailer yet, but they're really excited about it. You can tell the hype in the room was like, we are excited about the existence of this movie despite how stupid it looks.
No, because everybody bought in.
Yeah.
Because that's where you go into this movie like, okay, The Rock and the Transporter are gonna fight that guy who was in that detective series on British TV, and he's got superpowers, and there's going to be a barrel roll. I'm going to watch this movie.
Sure, I understand.
Because the thing about it is, I think I can say this much without getting in trouble. Some of the stuff that we've watched lately appeals to people's most base nature. In that
you just want to see destruction.
You just want to see destruction.
Yeah.
You want to see guns going off. You want to see people duking it out, and you want to be able to be like, yeah,
That's what this movie.
Movie looks like it's going to deliver on, and there's absolutely an audience for it. That video has been viewed millions of times on YouTube already. Their money's in the pocket. They've got that money.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, they got my money. I'll go see it.
cool.
Yes. But yeah, that's everything that we got to see. I wish we'd gotten more. That's kind of the thing we always say with these Super Bowl trailers. I wish we'd gotten Spider-Man. I definitely wish that we'd gotten Episode 9.
9, for real. Star Wars.
You know, those are big, real important franchises.
And that one's going to be so important when it finally drops, because that's the end of an era.
I do want to do the shout out there from the chat. It Volume 2. I really want to see It Volume 2, some footage, because I want to see how the adult actors do in this movie.
Yes, absolutely.
So all of those other ones that we didn't get to see, we'll get to see them later on this year, and we'll cover them here on the show. But for right now, this is what we've got, and more than likely, most of us are going to see all of the movies we mentioned.
There were a lot of other stupid commercials, but they're stupid, so we're not talking about them.
Yeah, get out of here.
Budweiser had a night or something.
And then he died.
I don't know. Or Bud Light specifically. Doesn't matter. He doesn't matter because it's Bud Light, and don't drink Bud Light. I don't know.
Piss water. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our second story, which is the press conference and the first trailer for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. So we got the trailer for you guys right here. Various other groups have already subbed it, so that we understand what's going on here. The press conference was earlier this week, and this is of course for the 43rd Super Sentai, because we're going ahead to, because Lupin Ranger and Pod Ranger count as a Sentai team each.
This setup footage that's going on right now is actually kind of exciting. It's a good build-up.
Yes.
There's a lot of there's that. We need that explosion. I need that explosion.
Now, a lot of people are saying there's a lot of really obvious parallels to others. That's a hint.
Excuse me. I have taken a look at the characters.
Well, that's what we're here to go over. So we'll go ahead and break down for you guys as you're seeing the cast here.
I love the pastel. I love it.
Okay, so what we have here is Hayate Ichimose as Ryusoulger, civilian named Cole. He is a genius who spends all of his time training. The actor said that the series that impacted him the most was Gal Ranger.
Oh, okay. And Gal Ranger has notably been very well received.
Yes, and now we've got Gal Ranger over here in English thanks to Shout Factory, so y'all get on that. Then we also have Rituo Obata as Towa, who's Ryusoul Green. He's the younger brother of one of the other Rangers. He's a warrior who refuses to be defeated by anybody. I agree with him a lot because his influential series in Sentai was Genki Ranger, and that's a series very close to my heart. Now he has an older brother who's actually our Black Knight, Tatsuya Kishida playing the role of Banba, Ryusoul Black.
Alright, pardon me for having been playing that trailer music there. I thought I'd had it muted, so we're just gonna keep going though.
Sorry about that, guys. He's Towa's older brother. He's the strong, silent type. Normally in these series, I go for the Blue Rangers because, you know, that's a carryover from Power Rangers. I really like the strong, silent Black Knight Ranger. Like, I like that. Very much, he reminds me of Goshi from Jew Ranger.
Sure.
You know, because he was that same kind of guy. Then, of course, we're talking about your Blue Ranger there. That's Keito Tsuna as Melt.
I love it. I love his hair. I think that pastel is amazing.
He's a warrior with a great thirst for knowledge. His most impactful series, which makes sense, is Aba Ranger, which is one of the other dinosaur-themed teams.
Makes absolutely perfect sense, yes.
And then our pink, Ryusoul Pink, is Ichika Osaki in the role of Asuna. She is from a noble family and is the strongest member of the team. Like, she's physically stronger than everybody else. And you like that in your female characters, that they've got great strength.
But at the same time, I also like it when they use hammers. I wish somebody would use a hammer.
The interesting thing that they've got is they've got what are essentially amounting to dinosaur ranger keys. Well, they have a proper name, but basically what they're going to do is they have a wrist morpher, as you can kind of see here in the trailer. They'll insert them there and kind of do this flip motion. You see the morpher right there. And depending on which one they use, that will actually give them different armor and different weapons. So it's kind of that same toyetic feeling like Gokaiger, a little bit like other series that we've gotten. And the thing of it is, right there, I like that the smooth move there of the transformation.
Absolutely.
Because something we were talking about before the show started is a lot of the more recent Sentai series, I'm just not feeling the morphers. They're really bulky.
I know.
They
I
don't
agree.
Look cool. Like this.
This
is a cool morpher.
Similar to Kamen Rider too. Kamen Rider's transformation devices, their belts, their drivers have been way too big. I do wish Toei would streamline a little bit more. This is a good start.
Now, a lot of you are I've heard this comment before, Destroy Your Hero. I've heard it, and I agree with it. This does look an awful lot like Kyoryuger 2.0.
It really does.
Because it's the same color scheme.
It's very difficult, especially because I didn't watch Kyoryuger.
Yeah.
It is very difficult for me to differentiate between the two upon a really brief glance.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I haven't spent a lot of time with the trailer or the press release, the press conference before, so I had no idea that Blue was a dude and not a girl. And it's difficult for me to just separate the both teams without necessarily having dived into them.
I would dare say that why would they not change that, bringing it over here? Because I imagine this is toyetic enough to where Hasbro would adapt it. Mm-hmm. If they brought it over here, they could very easily turn Blue into a girl.
Sure.
And it wouldn't be a problem.
Well, they don't even have to. If they decided to keep it as a person that looks like this, a dude with pastel blues, what would be wrong with that?
Well, we had somebody with pastel green in Time Force. You know, they brought that over from Time Ranger,
right,
keeping that for the Green Ranger. That would be fine. Now, seeing some of the... I'll just go ahead and use the blanket term, the Zord footage there. We see their mech, which is, again, very much like Kyoryuger. It's red, and then blue and pink are the arms. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really obvious they're going for that because Kyoryuger was a huge mover and seller for them. Mm-hmm. And admittedly, it's one of my favorite series in the past, 10 years or so. But beyond that, it's going to be interesting to see them make their own mark and try and differentiate themselves from the other dinosaur seasons.
Right.
Because, yeah, we already got the adaptation over here. Everybody's familiar with Super Dino Charge. But how are you going to sell that, or rather, do you even bother trying to sell that differently? Like, do you lean into it? Because it's still that whole thing of these are ancient tribes, and dinosaurs had to defend the Earth from alien invaders, and then they went away, and then they came back. That sounds an awful lot like Kyoryuger.
Absolutely.
Is this not tied to it? Directly.
It would almost be a shame now if it wasn't. Like, because if you had a callback to a previous team that did very, very well, and they partnered with this team, maybe that would actually be kind of cool.
Now, this is the only thing that I'll comment on to try and, cap it so we can get to Endgame, is... there was specifically a team-up movie that they got in Japan that we didn't get adapted over here, which was all the dinosaur teams teaming up of... what we would consider over here Power Rangers, Dino Charge, at the time Dino Charge, and Dino Thunder. Now that we've got this one over here, we had it before. Super Sentai did that crossover. Can you do it again? Make the source footage, and then Hasbro, you guys are making good decisions here.
So far, Hasbro's doing it right. I think they could do it.
Can you give us the 4-way Dino team-up?
4-way dinos.
Hashtag 4-way dinos. Because I want to see that. I want to see all of these strong characters, all the Tyrannosauruses and Triceratopses attacking at the same time. And I imagine, because this is the way it works every year, is that we're going to get more information, more scans are going to come out, and we'll probably get a good look at what the 6th or even 7th Rangers are going to look like. There's just one request I have. Can they not be silver and gold this time?
Do we know they're going up to 6 or to 7?
I'm presuming because we've been
getting. We know we're gonna get 6. We know that.
That's a given.
That's a given. 7 is what I'm curious about because we've already done such big teams. Do we really need them to get super big in numbers again? Are people expecting that now?
To a certain extent, yes, because the more popular seasons have giant casts. Mm-hmm. You think about Q Ranger, Kyoryuger, you had like 10, 11, 12 person teams. Mm-hmm. And those did really well. They were really popular. You can say one way or the other for personal preference, but, people really like those characters. They like the interaction. They like having the choice there of having, well, I don't like this blue. I can be the pastel blue in Kyoryuger, or Q Ranger specifically. I can be a purple ranger. I can be an orange. I would just like a different color, really.
Uh-huh.
For this team, I would prefer a yellow ranger, which is weird because usually they'll have a yellow ranger. It's just every so often there's a season that doesn't have one.
And this is one of them so far.
So, I would prefer it, but usually if they want something that's in that shade, they'll go gold. And if they're following the Kyoryuger formula, it's probably going to be gold.
Yeah, more than likely. It's almost always gold. It's almost always gold or silver.
Yeah, and I'm getting sick of it.
I understand.
No, it's repetitious.
It is.
And the thing about it is...
predictable.
And that's really been my biggest complaint over the last couple of years, is that it's too predictable. Like, shake the formula up a little bit. I get that you're really locked into this demographic, but, I mean, a little variation wouldn't hurt.
Well, what other color then would you be looking for? Because I think at this point we've covered all of the major primary colors.
I would prefer, like, if you're gonna do a callback to like Abba Ranger, have it be a white Ranger.
Okay.
That would be pretty cool.
That makes sense.
You know, with some rowdy armor there too. But yeah, that having been said, I one of the funniest comments that I've seen is specifically for Ryusoulger. People are like, oh, well, he looks like a strong leader, and personally, I like strong reds. What they're saying he looks like is if you took Marvelous's actor and then Troy's actor, and then you blended them together, you get this guy in the face.
Oh, I get you.
I kind of see it.
I get you.
Kind of see it. But otherwise, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I will give it the usual 5-episode start for Sentai.
Sure.
And then I'll see if I stick with it.
And this is supposed to debut at what time? When? What date?
So this is going to debut after these 4 weeks have gone by of this this in-between series with all the returning Red members. It's going to start on March 17th, 9:30 a.m. over there in Japan.
Great.
So you got a month to get ready for it. Toys are already
Sundays.
On Sundays, of course. Pre-sales are up already for a lot of the toys. So if you want to get on it now, because it's probably going to be hard to get a hold of those morphers once the series starts.
It's exciting. I'm excited to see where this goes.
All right, so there's that. And with the time that we've got left, let's see if we can unpack all 30 seconds of this Endgame trailer.
Again, it is only 30 seconds, so we need to spread 30 seconds over the next 10 minutes. How are we going to do that?
Well, first off, I didn't talk about this in the follow-ups because I wanted to show this real quick. If you can bring up the photo, they've released a photo online and then kind of quickly taken it down, but this is official art. They have confirmed it. That's going to be a crossover with, or a promotion, I should say, with Orville Redenbacher. These are the original 6 Avengers in their official costumes for this movie. So, of course, we've got Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow.
So Orville Redenbacher jumped the gun?
They jumped the gun. They put it out too soon. Because now if you go back to the website, it says coming soon. So it's probably going to go back up pretty quick.
Okay.
Now, the thing of it is, the thing that people are really liking here is, one, Black Widow's back in the red hair. I prefer that way. You can see the scaling there on Captain America's costume.
Sure. And
he's back in his original costume. Iron Man has coloring more like his traditional 1960s look, where he's got gold up to his shoulder.
Right.
Now we've got Hulk in some kind of bodysuit.
That's a really interesting choice.
Because people are wondering, well, what's that got to do? Because we see them in some kind of a red and white outfit in some of these promotional pictures that we're seeing. And, of course, we're seeing Hawkeye there, not Ronin, because if he's wearing the mask, he's Ronin, and he's got the sword, he's Ronin. But without that...
Have we figured out he's going Ronin?
Yes, we've already got that confirmed.
Yeah, we've already confirmed that.
We've already confirmed that.
Okay.
So we've got that to look forward to. But, again, this makes sense as far as your advertisement goes, because at the end of the movie, and from what we've seen from the first trailer, they're all fine.
Right.
And we are getting a confirmation, you better give us Hulk in this movie, because we know we had a problem last time. But let's go ahead and break that off, and let's go ahead and talk about this 30 seconds here.
Sure.
So, the chilling thing that we see right from the get-go is this post-snap world. You know, these bleak colors, all of these ships around the Statue of Liberty, because I was talking about this with my brother just the other night. Like, right there real quick, they show all the flashes of everybody who got snapped away, and you think about it like, the Avengers know what's going on, S.H.I.E.L.D. barely knew what was going on, and you got people here who didn't get snapped away. How do you process that? Because from what we understand, it's been at least a couple of, from what we're understanding, months when the movie picks up, because they've had to deal with all this stuff. If you were in the Marvel Universe and you watched the snap happen and it took everybody around you but you, and you don't know anything about Thanos, you've never heard the word Thanos, what do you think it is?
Right.
Like, do you think it's, like, religious? Like, do you think it was the
rapture?
rapture?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you go nuts?
I totally imagine them going with people thinking the rapture happened.
But on top of that, it actually pushes on for more people this idea that Thanos' plan was inherently flawed. Because, yeah, on paper, he did what he said he was going to do. Natasha even says as much. He wiped out 50% of all life. But that's not what happened. It's what he did, but that wasn't the end result.
Right.
Because you can think of all the collateral damage, people who died as a result of the snap indirectly. Like an airline pilot who's suddenly not in the cockpit anymore.
Same with cars on the freeway, yeah.
Or the helicopter that we saw go down at the end of the movie. More than half of the people in the universe died.
Sure.
When he snapped, which means he wasn't thinking it through, unless he took that into consideration, which is something you would have to bring up, but otherwise, that looks like a really big oversight.
Yeah, because, like, are we going to bring back all of the people that actually physically died as a result of the snap?
See, that's the thing, like, and that's why I'm imagining that this idea that we're playing around with of time travel is going to factor in undoing basically all of Infinity War. Because how else are you going to do that? Also, it's going to be really weird if the movie doesn't address that, because I'm not stupid, other people died.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm driving my car and you're sitting in the car and I poof away, you know, I go Sandy on you and you can't get the car right, you might have died.
Yeah, more than likely. Hit a wall, because I can't, like, climb over into the driver's seat fast enough.
And you see, like, you see Steve there at this, like AA meeting, but for people who got
Lost
left behind.
people, yeah.
And you can see just the seething anger on him. Like, one, I screwed up, and then you see, like, the resolve, the strapping on of the shield. Like, he's got the shield back. Like, they gave him back the shield, and it's like, I'm going out here, and I'm gonna do a thing. And we don't know exactly what the thing is, but we know that he's going to have a lot of time to do it. Because according to the Russos, right now, the current edit of the movie is clocking in at a solid 3 hours.
Oh my god.
Yes, that's 20 minutes longer than Infinity War. They are considering bringing back an intermission for this movie.
Oh my god.
That's what we're dealing with right now.
That's wild.
Because they've said thus far, because they apparently people have already seen a cut of the movie. There have been test audiences out there, and of course they've signed NDAs. But the one thing that they will comment on is the fact that in every showing of this movie, nobody got up to go to the bathroom. Not a single person.
Wow. Well, it's exciting. It's super exciting.
Yeah, because why would you want to miss it? Like, we're usually pretty smart about that. You know, we tag team, all right, you go first, then me, and then the movie starts. But, like, why would you load up and then go in there? That's just stupid.
It is. It really is.
Because I think I remember I saw one person when we went to go see Infinity War this past year who got up during the movie, and it's like,
What?
Really,
Where are you
bro?
going?
Really?
Where are you
10
going?
years that we put into this mess. You're going now.
And
You
you,
really
spent,
had-
you spent your money on this. No, don't
And you
leave
gonna
during
wa-
this.
Because, like, yeah, you could miss something. And I don't want to miss a single second of this.
No, not at all. I think an intermission would be a really smart move here, because they've really hyped this up, and even these teasers are like, this is it. You have been waiting for this, and if you blink, you're
Now,
gonna miss something.
here's my counter argument. I think it's the dumbest thing they could do.
The intermission? Why?
Yes, because think about it. It's the same thing as going to a concert, as going to a football game, as anywhere else, is as soon as it goes, you have to make that mental math. How fast can I go to the bathroom, physically do the thing I need to do in the bathroom, and get back before the movie starts? Because if you've got, like, say, a 10-minute, 15-minute intermission, you're on a clock. You're trying to get in there and get out. Mind you, everybody else in that theater is thinking the same thing.
Of course.
And do you really want to have to deal with that mess? Because I'm going to be straight up, as a man, and I hate to get a little crass here, if you've really got to, you know, get somewhere and get back, you're not thinking about aim very well. And you're just going to leave a mess. And I can only imagine how bad it would be for the ladies' room.
Why? We sit.
Well, I've heard that it gets messy there, too. Point being, people are going to not really care so much about hygiene because they want to see what happens and how Spider-Man gets back. They want to see Black Panther come back and then get his, you know, make sure Thanos gets his. So I don't know if that's such a good idea. I would say most people, diapers.
Really?
I think someone's going to do it.
No.
I don't agree with it. I'm just saying we live in an era where I've heard about, you remember a couple of years ago there was that weird case of, like, the astronaut going coast to coast in their car and they never stopped for, like, anything but gas, and they were wearing diapers all the way down to Florida.
No.
You don't remember this?
No,
This
I
is the
do
thing
not
that
know.
happened. So I imagine, like, people have put so much time and energy into this thing that it's going to be insane that night. Like, people, like, I can hardly imagine what it's going to be like, because we knew this is it. This is the end to everything. What's it going to be like leaving the theater? Like, I have to go on living after this. So we'll need Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We need that to keep
You need
going.
the uplift.
You need that palate cleanser, because otherwise it's going to be like, oh my god, like, I just watched everything. like
That, and I'm sure they're going to be doing some of those marathons that they've been doing the last couple of
that's what I'm
major
saying.
releases.
Somebody is going to have to clean some stuff up. Like, I feel bad for the people working the theaters that weekend. My heart, honest to goodness, as somebody who was in the service industry, I really feel bad for anybody working the theater that weekend, because you know for a fact that weekend nobody can ask off.
Oh no! I know
it's all hands
exactly
on
what
deck.
that's like.
It's going to be like the Dark, exactly
like
the Dark Knight Rises.
Blackout dates for asking.
Blackout dates. They're going to have showings around the clock.
You're going to get fired for calling out sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, straight up team meeting, come in. You know it's Avengers this weekend. You know what it is. You're all on notice. You can't tell me you don't know Avengers is going to come out, because we've had the posters. We've shown the trailers. If you call out, seek other work. That's just how it is.
Yeah, this is like a Dragon Quest day. You know?
Like in Japan, Dragon Quest Day.
Like a Dragon Quest Day.
If you call out, you're fired. And I understandably would do that. Now, as far as my job is concerned, I will call out that day.
Yeah.
To make sure that I'm there. Because, like, I imagine most of us, you know, if you work a night job, you know, you're calling out that day. If you want to watch an early show, you call out that day.
Sure.
Or even if you're going to watch multiple times in a day, you're going to call out for this.
I feel like this is something that, what's the date of release again?
Oh, that's right, because they moved it up.
They did.
To May, I believe it is.
Okay, well, in May, I think I am prepared to do my own somewhat marathon, not all in one day, mind you. It's finally been so long, and this is finally the build-up that, like I'll take it one day at a time, like one movie at a time. Today, I'm doing Iron Man, and then we're gonna do Captain America, and we just keep moving on down the line until we've gone. You know, this is gonna take weeks to do this if I'm doing it one movie at a time. This is if there was ever gonna be a timed marathon, it's now for this movie.
Because you remember the last time we marathoned a whole thing, it was for
Lord of the Rings.
All those years ago.
And we did the extended versions.
Yeah, we did hard mode.
And we said we have to sit through all of the credits.
Thank you, Rodolphus. April 26th. That's when the movie, because I knew they moved it up.
Yeah.
So April the 25th, I imagine, you know, day before, it's going to be insane. There's going to be cosplay. There's going to be people out there with their Switches. There's going to be the fan community that I experienced during Lord of the Rings out there.
I've got my Captain Marvel dress that I really, really want to be wearing.
Well, you need to start getting on that so you can get that dress ready.
Well, why? The dress is here and it's ready.
Yeah, if it's been on the floor, you gotta wash it.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because we've been doing laundry. People do laundry. Will Tony we don't know if Tony's gonna die. I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for Tony to die. Are you? Because I wasn't ready for Pete. I know
we have to let them out of their contracts at some point.
I get that. I knew Spidey was going to come back, and I still couldn't take him saying, Mr. Stark, I don't want to go. If we have any theories, we're actually going to talk about it in the post-show, because this is pretty much our show right here.
Yeah, let's do this. We're going to wrap up the show here. Let me go ahead and, where's the, how do I
You were right on it.
I was?
Yeah, you kept looking for it. And you already had it. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so yes, that's it for the base part of our show. If you're new here right now, well, actually, just for everybody, thank you for being here.
Yes,
in the
thank
first
you.
place.
Another Friday night.
Those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that too. If you are here with us right now, we're about to go into our post-show, our Q&A portion of the show, so you can sit around, talk to us, ask questions, hang out with everybody in the chat room and everything. Appreciate you guys being here for that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching it on YouTube, but it would be really great if you could come out and see us on Friday nights. I think it's pretty regular now that we're doing it at 7:30.
It's just been the way it's going.
Just the stress of having you come in the door after work and then prepping for the
Friday
show.
night traffic in
So we're
LA.
going to be doing the 7:30 from this point on Friday nights. Please come out here live for the show so that you can join us in the Q&A, because otherwise you're never going to be able to see or participate in the Q&A portion.
And of course, during the week, you can always talk to us over on social media. On Twitter, I'm at Josh Knight First.
And I'm at Mars Girl.
And that's been tonight's episode of Beyond the Black Rims. We will see you guys again next episode.
Thanks, everybody.